and she's sharing a blood supply with that baby and sending oxygen and nutrients and wastes, and all these things are transferring between the mother and the baby. So the baby's actually communicating through the mother. So the baby's communicating through the mother, and the mother is communicating about the world to the baby. I'm Heather Grzych, and this is the Wisdom of the Body podcast. This podcast explores the idea of body intelligence as the real key to learning the knowledge of life, or what we call Ayurveda in the ancient language of Sanskrit. We do that by connecting with today's creative leaders and experts who will help you listen to your body, trust your gut, and live in deeper harmony with nature. Come join me as we unlock the golden door to clear, direct perception and become very deep listeners. You can find the Wisdom of the Body podcast on Apple, Spotify, and Stitcher. You can also follow us by joining my email at heathergrzych.com or on Instagram at heathergrzych. I know you're going to love this podcast, so take a second right now to subscribe. Hello, and welcome to the Wisdom of the Body. Today, we're going to be discussing ways to support your pregnant friends and make their journey to motherhood a little bit easier, because pregnancy can be a challenging and transformative time in a person's life. And if you're inclined to offer your support and care to your pregnant friend, well, that could make a world of difference for your pregnant friend. So let's get into it. Because pregnancy it's a unique and exciting journey. It also comes with its own set of challenges, because it's when a woman is pregnant, she's going to go through a lot of physical challenges. She's going to go through a lot of emotional challenges. And sometimes she's going to go through discomfort and stress. And yes, she may be very happy to be pregnant. She may have wanted to be pregnant for years. You know, some people try to get pregnant for a long time. So yes, your friend might be very happy to be pregnant, but she may also be going through some difficult things. Some of those things might be morning sickness. You know, everybody's heard of that. Possibly fatigue or mood swings. And there's a whole bunch of other things that people go through when they're pregnant. They may be hopeful. They may be feeling very hopeful, or they may feel excited. On the other hand, they may actually feel scared. So you probably know that you've probably heard of morning sickness, and you know that it's common in the first trimester. Well, I had morning sickness in my pregnancy all day, and I had it every day of my entire pregnancy. So sometimes you hear things and you think that's kind of like the standard, but every pregnancy is really different. And I would never have expected to be nauseous every day, all day for 9 months, unless I was like eating something, which is why I gained a ton of weight when I was pregnant. Rightfully so. And I couldn't have expected that to happen before I got pregnant. I'd never been pregnant before. I didn't know what to expect. But every pregnancy is really different. And there's just a lot of changes that people go through when they're pregnant. So I also want to say, to be fair, there are some changes that men go through when their female partner is pregnant. There are some changes. For example, research will show that about 3 weeks before the baby is born, the male testosterone levels drop significantly, which is super fascinating. That's just one example. We'd need a whole other discussion to talk specifically about the male partners. I think we can all agree that the female is the one dealing with the highest level of transformation in a pregnancy, because she's the one that's cooking the baby inside. So how can you be there for your pregnant friend and make her life easier? And I want to say there's actually a book that a woman wrote called Asking for a Pregnant Friend. The woman's name is Bailey Gaddis, and she wrote a whole book about this. So if you want to learn more about this, you might want to check out that book. But here are some general things that you can do, whether your pregnant friend has a partner or not, because it really does take a village. So the first thing is you could be a good listener. That's something that you could do for all your friends, not just your pregnant friends. Kind of feel funny even like having to say that one, but you know, being a good listener is really important. Sometimes all your pregnant friend needs is someone to talk to because she might have worries or questions, or maybe she just wants to share thoughts or feelings about what's happening. So just listen, be patient, be empathetic, and be non-judgmental. Just listen and be supportive and let the person express. So that's where I would start. And then I would try to offer help. So pregnancy, depending on that person's pregnancy, it could change their life in some way. Sometimes, especially when someone is very pregnant, their mobility is limited. Their energy levels are definitely changed, especially in that first trimester. They're just getting used to being pregnant. They're so tired. Very common, I will say symptom of pregnancy is just to be super exhausted. There's a lot of napping taking place, especially in that first trimester. So you can offer just practical assistance with everyday tasks. You can help with grocery shopping or meal prep, house cleaning, or running errands. I will say those are all the things people definitely want help with after the baby is born, but most people probably need less help in those areas when they're pregnant. But if you have a friend who is really, dealing with complications, then they're going to need that kind of help. So you can take some of these burdens off their shoulders and you can allow them to conserve their energy for more important things like, making sure they're healthy for the baby. And just remember to ask and assess what kind of help people want, because some people are really bad at accepting help and need to accept it more. And on the other hand, some people really enjoy how, helping themselves is empowering. And you definitely want a pregnant woman to feel empowered when she's pregnant, because you're already surrendering so much in the process. So find out what kind of help people want. And then if you're, want to go the extra mile, educate yourself, learn about pregnancy. If you want to be able to talk about it with your friend, learn about the various stages of pregnancy, understand what your pregnant friend is going through. But, if you've never been pregnant before, you can't even imagine it. You can't. I could never have imagined it. You always understand things more after you've been through them. So it's important, if you want to learn about this, know what's normal and then what might warrant some attention on something, especially if you have a friend that has a high risk pregnancy or is dealing with some complications. You might want to learn a little bit about what might be concerning that they're going through. And you can help them find credible resources or even classes on pregnancy and parenting when they're pregnant. So educate yourself and offer your help like that. You can also, if you want to go to classes with your pregnant friend, there are lots of cool classes on massage techniques during labor. So there's different birthing classes. Your friend may want you to go to an appointment with her, especially if she, has a concern or her partner is not available, or she's a single mom. Going to appointments with your friend might actually be something they'd want. Although I feel like a lot of people don't suggest that to their friends, but why not ask? Hey, do you want me to come with you? You never know. Maybe they'd want you to drop them off so they don't have to park their car, if you live in a city. So find out what they feel comfortable with if they want your help with that, because it can be really reassuring to have somebody at appointments with you. And, it also gives you an opportunity to learn more about pregnancy in general and your friend's specific pregnancy journey. And I'm going to say this next one, and I probably should have said this as number one, but make sure that when you spend time with your pregnant friend, be very considerate of her comfort and her happiness, because something like, okay, they have a comfortable place to sit or lie down, give them cushions, blankets, being mindful of any dietary restrictions that they have or any cravings or foods that they love, because the pregnant woman's happiness is so important for her health and the health of the baby. And we say in Ayurveda, there's this wonderful Sanskrit word that means that you have two hearts, so a woman has two hearts when she's pregnant, and the baby, your desires as an individual are, connected to your heart. Well, the woman who's pregnant has her own heart and also has a baby's heart functioning within the space of her body. So the baby, and she's sharing a blood supply with that baby and sending oxygen and nutrients and wastes and all these things are transferring between the mother and the baby. So the baby's actually communicating through the mother. So the baby's communicating through the mother, and the mother is communicating about the world to the baby as well. So she has two hearts, and she's a special person when she's pregnant. And she should be happy, and all of her desires should be met as much as possible, because her happiness is important to her health and also to the baby's health. Now, pregnancy can be an emotional roller coaster for some people. Most people experience something, but some people it can be really, really intense. And so be there for your pregnant friend when she needs emotional support. You can offer encouragement and reassure her that what she's going through is normal, and just be supportive, kind words, optimistic, and looking for ways to help as well will make a significant difference in your friend's emotional well-being. Another thing you can do is help your friend have fun. So especially, I will say that being nauseous every day, all day for 9 months, I needed my mind taken off that all the time. I was literally calling all of my friends who own yoga studios and saying, hey, I just want to keep subbing classes. I can't sit still right now. Whenever I sit still, when I'm not eating or not teaching a yoga class or moving around, I feel like I'm going to puke. So I was literally begging my friends to give me stuff to do. And, you can also plan things that are fun to do with your friend. Fun is definitely, necessary, because pregnancy definitely is wonderful transformation, and transformations can be kind of serious. So make sure to build in some fun into that too. And yeah, it could be movie night or a spa day, or, going for a walk, depending on your friend's level of mobility. I have a lot of friends who still run through their entire pregnancy and are very athletic still. I did yoga until, very strong and intense yoga my entire pregnancy. So, you can do things that are fun that your friend enjoys, and yeah, keep her happy. But, every pregnancy is unique, and your friend might make decisions that are different than your own beliefs and your own experiences. So you might believe that something should be a certain way, and your friend believes it should be a different way because that's what makes her feel comfortable and happy and safe. So it's crucial to respect your friend's choices, whether it's related to birthing plans or feeding methods, once the baby's going to be born, if they decide they're going to breastfeed or not breastfeed. Everybody's circumstances are different. Some people have different parenting philosophies that they want to implement. And so just support that and be non-judgmental with your friend will really help your friend. And that stuff kind of comes in later as they're, getting closer to giving birth. They start thinking more about how they're going to parent. And then there's a lot of things you just don't even know until you have the baby. And then you realize, oh, this whole other world of stuff that I have to learn. So another thing you could do is, it's important to be comforting and supportive, but it's also important that you know what to do in case there's an emergency. Especially if you have a friend that's in a higher risk pregnancy, you can familiar yourself with what the signs are of, say like preterm labor or complications from that, or, other complications from pregnancy, and know how to contact medical professionals. Especially if you spend a lot of time with a pregnant friend, or if you have a coworker or somebody that you're spending a lot of time with, and find out how she plans to care for herself after the baby is born. How are you going to care for yourself, and how are you going to care for the baby? Especially if she's a single mom, or especially if, she's going through some type of relationship disruption or doesn't have family around or something like that. Find out like, hey, what do you envision? What do you think it's going to be like when the baby's born? And connect her with other friends or resources that you think can be of help to her. So that could be something practical, like understanding where she plans to give birth, or how much paid time she gets off of work. Everybody gets, something different. Or maybe you can find out, how do you sign your kid up for health insurance after your baby's born? Even just helping out with little practical, tactical things like that can be helpful. Because the time after the baby is born involves a lot of changes. So if you can help her create this sort of comfortable nest to care for the baby in is very, very important. And this is probably, I think, really good advice for male partners when the female is pregnant, I think that these are kind of universal things that a lot of pregnant people need. So whether it's your friend or whether it's your partner who is going to be having a baby, I think all these are really great things to know if you've never been through this experience before with someone. And celebrate the milestones, because there's a lot of milestones in pregnancy, right? So first you conceive, then you get through the first trimester, then you get through the second trimester, you get through all your tests, you get through all of your transitions and body changes and changing your clothes and all this stuff, and then you prepare for birth and at some point, and then you go through labor and then you have the baby and then you learn to breastfeed. And there's just a lot of different things involved in it, ultrasounds, and there's a baby shower. So celebrate these moments to also help plan events with your friend and always make them feel loved and cherished and safe and happy. Though that's what pregnant women really need. Pregnant people, pregnant women, pregnant female bodies, pregnant brains, they all need that. So buy your friend things she might need for the baby or for herself to take care of herself in that postpartum period. Just give everything you can. Treat her with all the extra care that you can give. Because I guarantee you, if you went through this experience, you would want the same exact things. And you would not ever envision how much help you need and how much you appreciate help when you have a baby. If you've never had a baby before, you just can't even imagine it. And I know, because I went most of my life without having a child. I didn't have a child till I was like turning 40. So for most of my life, I was a person that really had no understanding of what people went through when they had a baby or what they might need. And I really didn't have a lot of like empathy for the whole process, to be perfectly honest. And then after going through it, I was like, whoa, I always try to help pregnant people as much as I can. It's very important for them and for society for this to happen. Everything that we can do to support people, from making sure they have health insurance and safety and security to making sure they have the delicious food that they want, or, help to clean their house. There's so many different things. So in conclusion, supporting your pregnant friends is really important during their journey, during this journey to motherhood. It's all about empathy. It's all about understanding, and it's all about being there when they need you, because you can provide practical assistance, you can provide emotional support, or you could just be a good friend. Your presence is going to make your friend's pregnancy journey much easier and enjoyable. And don't bring your drama to them, because they need to be happy, okay? Try to keep your drama going other places, but really be there to support them, keep them happy, positive content in their presence. Yeah. Keep it all very happy and positive. So let's do our part to support and celebrate the amazing mothers to be in our lives. And thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope you found these tips helpful. And I hope that your friends get to benefit from all of your incredible help. Thank you so much. If you are embarking on a fertility journey and are ready to have your mind blown about what your body is really capable of and how it's impacted by the environment, then check out my book, The Ayurvedic Guide to Fertility. You can actually download the introduction to the book for free on my website at heathergrzych.com. That's Heather, GRZYCH.com. Read the intro for free and then buy the rest of this fertility enlightening book pretty much anywhere books are sold. I get so excited. I get this kind of goosebump feeling when I get a booking from a new client that I haven't met yet. And I get so excited because I know that somebody has made a decision to go really, really, really deep into their healing. Because I know that Ayurveda is not a quote unquote normal thing that many people have access to, at least not in the United States where I live. So I know that when someone books with me, that they've really made a decision that they want to go deep into their healing. And so you could do that on my website at heathergrzych.com. That's Heather, GRZYCH.com. You can book me for either a Ayurvedic consultation if you're ready to dive in, or you can also book me for a 15-minute connection call if you're not sure where to go yet. I do have a couple offerings that are not on my website, and we could talk about that. So I look forward to meeting you. Thank you for tuning in and dropping in with us today. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. I really want to hear your feedback. To learn more about my work, visit heathergrzych.com. That's Heather, GRZYCH.com. And meet me here next time on The Wisdom of the Body.